Hey, kia ora guys, how are you? I hope that your training is going well. So, the name of this particular podcast, number 10 in the Invisible Sensei series, is White or Right, which is kind of a contentious title, and the reason that I've named it that is coming, I promise. But I can tell you this, that it has nothing to do with race, creed, or religion. So, over the last couple of weeks, I have been sick, and I'm just listening back to some of the podcasts that I do, and I always seem to be getting over something, but I guess it's that time of the year. So I've had pneumonia, and I've had the flu, and a really bad case of the man flu. Today was my first day back in the dojo, so I went early this morning. It was lovely to get back into the dojo. It's such a nice space. And as I came into the dojo, put my gear on, put some tatami out to practice, one of the things that always jumps into my mind is that obvious first and foremost question of what am I going to practice? Now, a while back I put up some posts about some routines that I do on a regular basis in the dojo, and somewhat's to do with jiu-jitsu, and somewhat's to do with cross-training, and somewhat's to do with karate and kata and kobudo and all those things. The problem with that is that, hence the name of this podcast, White or Right, is that I've been having a problem with my whiteboard. Now, my whiteboard is directly next to where I like to practice in the dojo, so I often glance over it. I like to train with music and so on and so forth to set a little bit of a tone. Anyway, so I was training this morning, and as I was training, I looked up on the whiteboard, and there was the 4 routines that I have on the whiteboard. Now, as I said, I've been under the weather for a bit, so today was really my first session back, and it was just so nice to be moving. And for me, one of the biggest opponents I had in the dojo, my training this morning, was the whiteboard, hence White or Right. So every time I looked at the whiteboard, I looked at it from the perspective of the things that I should be doing, the things that I usually do, the names of kata, so on and so forth. I went, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. And I was partway through my warm-up when I realized that it's probably a good idea to look at doing one of those routines I had up there, or actually just getting some whiteboard eraser, wiping all of that stuff off the board, and just focusing on enjoying the training and doing what I can. Sometimes I think it's really important to let go of our expectations of us in our training, certainly for me, to realize that I'm not actually training for the UFC. I'm not training for the World Championships or to be in a Kung Fu movie. I'm training because I enjoy the training. It helps me to understand a little bit more about myself. So what I did is I went and got some spray, sprayed the whiteboard, wiped it down, and in doing so, I removed my expectations of myself. I was able to focus on the session. I was able to focus on what I wanted to do and what I needed to do. I was able to focus on not feeling like I was starting from a place of deficit, but actually what a bonus it was to be back in the dojo, and I really enjoyed that session. Maybe you're fighting with expectations. Maybe you're fighting with expectations of what you used to be able to do or what you'd like to do. I think it's really important for our training and our lives, sometimes with other people, especially those closest to us, to drop expectation and just enjoy the fact that we're moving in a particular direction. For me, with karate, with kobudo, with martial arts in general, being able to enjoy the training and get the most out of it doesn't always mean doing the same thing over and over again. It's not always moichido. Well, at least not for me, especially in the beginning stages. So I guess the message is, sometimes it's really important to enter the dojo and drop our expectations and just enjoy the movement, enjoy the longevity of what we're trying to do. Because I think in the final analysis, we all have a whiteboard that we need to clean. So I don't know if it was a whiteboard or a right board, but I cleared it and I cleared my mind at the same time. I encourage you to do the same. Enjoy your training. Catch up with you soon.